याली मदद. तो ये बहुत अच्छा discussion we had, and it's interesting that we talked about heavens being alive, not heaven but heavens being alive. Interestingly, Khayal has brought another question or another point to discuss. I'm going to let him speak. Give me the reference and what you think.
Okay, so we spoke about 50:31 in the Quran, which says, "And paradise will be brought near," and it says, "not far." And we spoke about the ta'wil, or the esoteric meaning of paradise, is that this refers to a paradise which is alive, which is in a form of a human, because it's alive. And interestingly, that's 50:31. But right before 50:31, we have Surah 50:30, which speaks of, "On the day we will say to hell, have you been filled? And it will say, are there some more?" So here we find out that hell can speak. And if hell can speak, that means hell is in a living form. So if hell can be alive, there's no way to say that paradise would not be alive.
Very, very well. Very good point.
तो जैसा कि यहाँ पर हमने सुना कि क्रिएशन ऑफ अल्लाह के अंदर हर चीज़ जो है वो जिंदा है. एवरीथिंग इन अल्लाह's creation is living being. So I'm going to start from the bottom so we understand how everything is living. Most people think, and in Memoir Sultan Mahmud Shah talks about this, that people think the dust and the rocks are not live. But Sultan Mahmud Shah says, even the dust and the rocks have soul. How do we understand what kind of soul does dust and a rock would have? In the term that Dais and Peer has given us is Ruhe Khabinda. Two meaning of that: sleeping soul or frozen soul. I like the frozen soul better. The frozen soul is in the rock and the dust. It's frozen. So when does it unthaw itself? What has to have happened कि उनकी सोल जो है ना वो जाग जाए. Right? When a farmer used that earth, the soil and the dust, and break those rocks into their farm and put seeds and water into it, that is the very soul becomes alive into vegetation. Now to us, even vegetation is dead, because vegetation cannot talk or move, but we see vegetation does grow, meaning it's alive. We may not be able to see it, but it is alive. So when does vegetation becomes talking and moving? At what point? When an animal eats that vegetation, the very vegetation which was dead compared to the animal becomes alive. But even then, animals are not alive in a full sense of the meaning. So when does animal becomes alive in full sense? If they are eatable, we call it domestic animal, eatable animal. When a human eats them, they become live in the human form. That's how the soul transforms from one to the other. It improves itself from dead to life on every stage. Even human compared to imam or compared to the higher mu'mineen are dead. So you will find an ayat in Quran, they were dead and then I made them alive. I thought it should be the other way around. We were alive and then we die. No, we were dead first and then we become alive. So when were we dead and when do we come alive. We are dead if we are not with the Imam. We are alive when we are one with the Imam, just like the soul became one with the vegetation, vegetation became one with the animal, animal became one with the human, human can become one with the Imam to become alive. To compare to Imam, we are dead. So everything is alive. That was our point. Everything is alive. If that is the case, then heaven and hell is also alive, and we're going to go even step further, a live personality. If heaven can be a mu'min, heaven can be a hujjat, heaven can be a imam, then on the flip side, the hell would be a non-mu'min. Heaven could be someone who guides the bad people, and that's the word for it, imamun kafirin,
Jahilun.
imamun
Jahilun.
jahilun,
Hell. Hell.
Jahilon ka imam.
jahilon ka imam, imam of the ignorant.
Yes.
That would be correct term.
There's a reference.
Imam of the jahilun, or the imam of the ignorant.
28 by 41.
28 by 41, she had pulled the reference for us. अगर ये बात है तो he is also same way guiding the people to the ignorancy as Imam is guiding the people toward his light. Or Imam is guiding people toward his live heaven. And then heaven can talk, will say what? Come unto me and live over here forever. And if hell is talking, it's also saying, are there any more ignorant people that I can take in?
Yeah.
Heaven is also talking, is there any more righteous people that I can take in? Everything in the creation of Allah is life. And we just talked about a clock. And we took one example only of number 12. If number 12, the 1 represents Allah, the 1, then 2 represent the one who is becoming one with him. So we see these numbers are not even dead. It represents a personality. It represents a concept. To whom? To mu'mineen. To one with the knowledge, it will represent a concept. Otherwise, it's just a clock. I wanted to mention this just here, that one of the name of the Qiyamah is the clock. And one of the name of Qiyamah is the moment, the second. The moment that it moves, that is also one of the name of Qiyamah. The moment in that watch, in that clock. So one name is clock and one name is moment. They both are name of Qiyamah. So you can see even those things are not, but it is a live concept for the mu'mineen, for the people with the knowledge. Where does this knowledge come from? Without the Arif Kamil, there will be no knowledge. Because Arif Kamil is the one who receives the knowledge from Akle Kul and gives to the people, mu'mineen, who seeks knowledge. Arif Kamil, the word means the one who has a complete marifat, meaning he has become one with Allah. And that's the number 2 in the clock. You want to add something?
Yes.
Go ahead.
The word he was saying frozen, for those who want to study more, there's a word in Quran, munjamid. Ruhe munjamid. And there is a dua of Prophet Muhammad, and we can say it as a tasbih too, and it says, Al arwahu junudum mujannada. Al arwahu junudum mujannada. Meaning that all the souls which are within me, bring them to life. All those souls which are frozen, bring them to life. Okay, al arwahu junudum mujannada. And then the paragraph he mentioned in memoirs, I just want to read it, and in our time we can contemplate on it. Mola says, Islamic doctrine goes further than the other great religions, for it proclaims the presence of the soul, perhaps minute, but nevertheless existing in an embryonic state, in all existence, in matter, in animals, trees, and space itself. Every individual, every molecule, every atom has its own spiritual relationship with the all powerful soul of God. But men and women, being more highly developed, are immensely more advanced than the infinite number of other beings known to us. And he mentioned, right? Mineral soul, vegetation soul, animal soul. Islam acknowledges the existence of angels, of great souls, who have developed themselves to the highest possible planes of the human soul and higher, and who are centers of the forces which are scattered throughout the universe. Subhanallah.
So do mention that in Memoirs of Aga Khan there's a chapter called Islam, the religion of my ancestor. And in that small book, which is available in Jamathana, page 16 she was reading from, this third paragraph. And that is a beautiful book to have in your homes if you don't have one. It is also available in Urdu if any people wanted to read it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Yali Madad.